Being the biggest guy in your family, but at the same time the weakest one. This is the fate of Jack Hanma. Jack was born in the process of an illegal incident during the Vietnam War. The act was done by a Canadian United Nations operative, Niane Deil, who became a victim of an unpredicted crazy maniac, Hujiro Yanma. The names were changed to maintain privacy. His mother raised Jack, and since his childhood he wished to surpass his father in strength and martial ability. But since birth Jack's body was weak and frail, so he could not fight at all. Later his obsession to defeat his hated father led to extreme overtraining at various fighting gyms, which led to the deterioration of the muscles in his body, which makes him even weaker. He wasn't much more than skin and bones because his body had been damaged by overwork. One thing Jack was good at, he never backed down, and this will help him a lot in the future. One day he met a scientist who once witnessed Hujiro in action and was inspired by his incredible strength and was trying to create a super athlete like Hujiro using a special drug that he created. The scientist promised Jack great results if Hanma tries to use his super formula of power. Combining a drug and an extreme training, Jack gained immense power in the process, even though the transformation process was accompanied by unbearable pain. Jack had become addicted to the drugs and began overdosing, leaving him even more mentally unstable. At first the doctor was happy with Jack's results, but at one point he tells the Canadian that he's really starting to overdose completely. But Jack is a Jack, so he does not care about his health. The only thing he wants in his life is to become stronger and stronger. The doctor finally agreed to give Jack as many drugs as he wanted.
飲めるかね。命の保証はないぞ。君は今までのトレーニングをそのまま続けてもらっても構わない。これもだ。
Later, Jack appeared at the Maximum tournament, and by using a drug before every fight, he made his way to the finals, defeating two small monkeys, a giant Russian retard, and an old grandfather. In the finals he finally met his brother from another mother, and in a gruesome fight to the death, in which no one dies as always in the BAKI series, he was defeated by his young bro. Of course they become something like a friends after. Also during this fight Jack's body starts to deform due to too much drugs he took. Mutated Jack completely cleaned from the drug but saved his insane power. When Jack leaves the ring, he meets his father Hujiro in the arena's corridor and told him that he's finally ready to fight. Because in Jack's head, you're ready to fight the strongest human in the world after you lost a fight to a 17-year-old kid and almost died in the process. What can you do, said Hujiro, and smashed his son to the floor. After the Maximum tournament, Jack has Kureyashi Nogi to perform surgery to lengthen his bones where multiple of his bones were broken, and he had limbs lengthened in 8 places. Jack spent his time mostly in the gym, improving his already insane muscles, which he used to hurt people, and in his head with good imagination to beat Hujiro someday. But for some reason, Jack's small brain does not understand that in a fight muscles are not the main weapon, and to beat a strong martial artist who are all of the BAKI characters, he need to learn some martial art and improve his skill. Of course, big muscles is a good thing, but you can't tank punches with your titanium face forever. Sometimes you need to avoid and outmaneuver your opponent.
It's magnificent.
So Jack lifts weights, fights some people, strong ones, who knocks out his teeth every time and not really, and eats a lot of food every day. Later in the plot he got another limb lengthening surgery which makes him look like not a normal human but a guy in a costume of stretched Jack Hanma because of his insane size. Living the same life day after day, Jack finally finds out that his muscles are not winning fights for him, so Godzilla Hanma decided to improve his skill. But what Godzilla in the human body could improve in his skills? Of course his bite. Since biting is Jack's signature technique, it has become his martial pursuit and he has devoted himself to it. Traveling around the world, Jack finally completed his technique in Taiwan and mastered his skill. Now he had X-ray vision and can tear people's flesh with intense speed, which actually made him a pretty scary opponent. Right now Jack is probably somewhere in the top 5 strongest characters of the series, but still he is the weakest Hanma.
Guilty!
Jack Hanma is the guy who literally spent all of his life training at the gym and improving his body with different surgical stuff to become who he is right now. Every BAKI character dedicated his life to martial arts, but for me, Jack is the one whose way was one of the hardest among all of them, and he is the one who deserved by his great work to be one of the strongest guys in the series.
It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough
And talking about more power, if Jack gets his demon back, which every Hanma has, he could give Hujiro a good fight. Maybe.
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me.
I hope this video was interesting to you. Still waiting for the official announcement of the new season to see Jack in action. Subscribe to see all the news about it. Leave a like, thank you for watching, enjoy the ending, bye.